up, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, day traders, cloud swing traders? Hope you guys are doing absolutely fantastic. Last day of the month, trading month, last day of the week, last day of the quarter. We're gonna wrap it up today. We'll wrap it up and we start this thing all again on Monday. So keep in mind we are off tomorrow. The market is closed. If you show up and I'm not here, I didn't forget about you, but I got plans. I got things to do. But we got Alan in the house. Good morning to you. We got Albert. Good morning. Bill, Brian, Corey, Jason, Jay, Joe, Marius. Good morning to you. Matthew, Miguel, Micus. We got Paul. We got Paul's AI in the house. We got Randy, Tim, Tina, Win. Good morning to you. All my people out in YouTube land. Phantom Richard Jet. We got No Till. Good morning to a real virtual demand. Honey, Roy. All my people sitting there real quiet. Oh, we got Ali in the house. Good morning to you too. All my people in that background just lurking. It's okay. Hit that like and subscribe button. Win says, I don't want to be off tomorrow. I don't make the rules, Win. If I could, I'll send an email to stockmarket at gmail.com and I'll see what they say. I'll see if I can get that changed. I don't know. But yeah, unfortunately, it's a forced day off today. They're saying you need to take a break, Win. That's all. That's all. Uh Pretty flat at open. Interesting day yesterday. And again, we're right back into the spot we've been at all week. Weekly chart. Let's see where we stand right now. Still inside candle from last week. And last week was a pretty decent breakout candle. Volume, I do expect to be light today. It's been light all week. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. But it got interesting only really later in the day. Otherwise, we had a pretty decent just chop sideways, which we've seen. It's almost the opposite of what we did yesterday. So we chopped sideways and we kind of broke down at the end of the day. Good gap up. We had some retests. We started breaking through a couple key points. This we had this on the chart as a 618. So somewhere right around here is a 618 retracement from this. I know I got a bunch of moving averages on the chart and things, but right down here's the low of the day from the close on Friday all the way to the high pre-market. This was a 618, so we're sitting there watching that one yesterday. We're like, we gotta stay here. We gotta stay pinned if we're going to do anything like anything fun and try to hold on to this gap and go. Because if we lose it, and we had a pretty massive gap and go, and we had the drop yesterday, that wouldn't be good for the markets. But the markets responded pretty well. Nice little what just happened here? Oh. I don't know where this little extra bar just came from. Nor do I know how to change that. Let's see if I could just reload the site real quick. Let's see. Okay. Oh, we're back now. I don't know. TradingView wanted me to have another little side window. Okay. But otherwise, yeah, pretty good close. No wicks at the top. The one challenge with the close was right into almost into that resistance, which I got is 523.38. So again, I'm kind of expecting still a chop week, which would throw us back inside this candle, and then we run it out. But watch this 523.38. If we start getting above it, the only thing really stopping us is 524.12. And can we get above that? Can we close the market at all-time highs at the end of the first quarter of 2024? We'll see. We had jobless claims. Jobless claims did come in a little bit higher than last time. So, again, that helps support the case that we'd probably get the 3 rate cuts. But I don't think any of those numbers were really that important when you had Jerome Powell out. I think he even had some kind of meeting this morning or not this morning, but this week, where he kind of reiterated it. We obviously saw the Fed speak, Jerome Powell speak last week. He came out and said, no, we're definitely doing the three rate cuts this year. So I don't think the numbers are going to play as big of a part. It's just if Jerome Powell, we see him start to backpedal at this point, and then then I think the market starts to get worried again. So I do think this is the spot that breaks. Today, though, I don't know. I don't know. We haven't done it before. We haven't done it. We haven't done it this week, and we don't have a lot of volume to get there. So we'll see. Matthew says, "Morning, Miguel," and good morning to Paul's AI assistant. Uh huh. AI. Tell me it's not the thing of the future. Go ahead. Go ahead. We got the Qs. We already see it here. Q's pretty much flat, up 6 cents from yesterday. So again, Q's is still on a little bit of a struggle bus. We'll see. We'll see how it wants to play out. But we have three big support lines. So I got, well, 3 days and then two support. So looking for like 445.51. We got to get above. And then we got to get above 446.07 to the downside. We still got some room to 443.26. And still hanging out below that. I think that's going to be a challenge to get above today. Right now, we probably have a slight little edge to the bear side than we do to the bull side. Pre-market actually just jumped down a little bit. But again, this is a decent little support. We'll see if that holds. I think that's probably where we hold today, 443.26. But who knows? Lighter volume. We'll see. We'll see how that plays into today's market. TLT. You guys are now asking Paul's AI questions. I kind of love it. Kind of love it. All right, we got little gap down into support on TLT, but good breakout day yesterday. Again, we've seen this. This is probably, if I was to draw out the fibs, this is probably right at the 50% retracement. So closing right at the 50, and again, we have a little support, but we also have a little resistance, 94, 91. So still, TLT has been on the struggle bus. If you guys got tickers, make sure you guys throw those into the chat. Jerome Nelson's in the house. What's up, Jerome? Real Virtual says, I always ask for BTC. You know that. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Uh-huh. Every single time I go to sleep, I was like, I know tomorrow morning I'm gonna wake up and Real Virtual Demand's gonna say, hey, let's check out BTC. So let's do that. Let's do that. Again, still, so this is gonna be interesting because we do have lighter volume in the market. Crypto plays differently. It's got a whole different set of rules. And we'll see, because now we got a 3-day weekend. Markets closed. Wynn's already said, I gotta trade something. I don't know. Maybe Wynn's gonna switch over to the dark side. Matthew says we're gonna need some movement today. Is Rock getting a haircut for the weekend? Uh he probably, it's usually a Tuesday or Wednesday he gets haircuts. So I don't know. I've never seen Rock get a haircut on a Friday or Thursday, but um we do have a 3-day weekend, so you might want to look good for it. So I don't know. I don't see Rock in the house yet. So I don't know if that's a good sign or a bad sign, because he might be getting a haircut now. I don't know. We'll see. But Bitcoin still looks good. It looks like we are just passing or right at that little resistance, 70,710. The next stop will take us to 71,695. We've hit that level already, and then we can see 72,316. I've noticed on 2-day weekends, Saturday and Sunday standard weekends, Bitcoin gets a little bit more movement out of it typically. Although last weekend didn't, but now you got a 3-day weekend. Everyone's feeding to do something, so we'll see how this plays out. But I think these are levels that can get taken out, and then I think the main level is 72,808, but still looks good, just in a couple high waves. We will see. WBA reported earnings. The earnings were actually pretty good, but nobody likes the stock anymore, I guess. But yep, earnings came in with a beat. Earnings per share, 38 cents. So they beat by 46% on earnings per share. Revenue came in with a beat of 3.32. And they did beat with a surprise revenue of 1.18 billion. Jeremy texted me this morning, actually. Hold on. Not about WBA. But, we're going back and forth, and he's like, hey, CXM is worth eyeing. So let's take a look at CXM. That one's got a pretty sweet gap. Sprinkler. So Jeremy's gonna be watching this one today. So just FYI, it is a pretty decent gap. Let's see where the weeklies are. This week is still live, so that's gonna look like a pretty insane breakout candle. We are gapping above this one with really good volume on it. The secondary good volume is this monstrosity, but even from this one, we've already taken out kind of the 618 at this point. So really not bad. We're starting to get above all those candles. We're getting higher than the volume here, so we are starting to take out some shorts on this one. I don't know this stock too well. Finviz, let's see if there's short float. CXM got a 8.68 short float on it, so that's good. Flip this back to the daily chart. I don't really see too many targets on this one until we start to get to like 1493. So this is where I would get a little concerned. 498. Yeah, $14.93. Then we get up to like 1527. What I would like to see, and this is a retest gap from yesterday, maybe we could get a little pullback at open 1456. I would like to see 1437. If that could hold, that would be a great spot to try it. So we'll add this one to the list. It's not there yet. I've never played this one, so we'll take a look. But there's a decent looking gap for today as well. CVX. And we know we have a liquidity problem right now in the market. Not a lot of volume. Could you go up a little higher there, trading view, like faster? Is that at all possible? It's like the scenic route to get this thing to the top. All right. We got that up there. So we'll see how that one opens. I would like to see a tiny little pullback first, then maybe this thing could get going. But even starting to look for maybe a swing trade, that is a good gap on this one. Is this earnings gap? Yep. So they beat by 37% earnings per share. So a little bit different luck than WBA. WBA still looks shortable, but it is at support. Uh, no, we're starting to break down pretty much all support, and the next little target on this one would be about $20.09. So get just under 50 cents to the way down. Maybe we could see this 1985 again, but that looks like a decent short after good earnings. So we'll throw this one up here, but it's looking a little bit more to the short side. I would like to see a green high wave on this one that we could take a breakdown short. That'd be, I think, fun, but we'll see what the market wants to give us on that one. Maybe even a pre-market breakdown potentially as well. A few moments later. CVX gets all the way to the top. CXM gets all the way to the top. All right, we got Wayfair. Yeah, that's got a nice little gap on it. No earnings. Three cheap stocks that shouldn't be cheap for long. That article might as well just say buy, buy, buy. Turn into NSYNC. Uh, we got one volume zone right above us. 7153 is gonna be a tough one to break through, but otherwise we are breaking decently through two strong pivots. So maybe we get a little pullback first. I don't know if that's going to be the case. But a pullback into 68.64 would be a good spot to try. Top of the next pivot takes us to 74.25. On a longer term basis, though, there's not a lot up until first real volume spot 78.88. Then we got $83. Bulls are going to want to protect 91. That's still massively far away. And then we got 111. It hasn't really broken like the rest of the market. It's had a good move from $49 to, so it's up a decent amount, I guess, for the year. But yeah, I do think Wayfair could get a little fun today. Let me see if we can get that one moved up higher. AMZN, Wayfair. There we go. We'll get this one up here. So far, we got some randos up here today. Okay. Jeremy says volume will be interesting today. Don't know if that means higher than expected or none. I expect it to be not a lot. And I think you get the rebalancing. I think we started to see the rebalancing in the last 2 days. And I think it will be heavier today. So essentially what that means is all the hedge funds, they put out all of their numbers in terms of what they did for the quarter, how they're holding up compared to the market. And let's say there's a hedge fund that this is also why you see uh like Nvidia getting hit a little bit. DraftKings had a weird wild day yesterday. There's companies that are doing good, and if you're a hedge fund and you did not play Nvidia, what do you think your investors are going to say to you? Like, how do you not get into Nvidia? Like, it's the number one. Like, you're waiting for a pullback and this number comes in. You don't want to look like a big dummy out there on Wall Street. So what you end up doing is you sell some other things that have maybe underperformed, and then you pick up some of the stocks that are actually running. If you had some decent amount of shares of Nvidia, something like that, you might start unloading some of those. But this way, when you are reporting your earnings, you don't look heavily exposed to one thing. It looks like, okay, well, at least this guy is playing Nvidia. He's in some of the high flying stocks, but he's really just picking it up in the last 3 days, and then on the report it says that they have it. So it's a little I don't know if it's quite manipulation, but manipulation to the investors, I guess, of what the performance actually is or what it looks like. And so there's a little bit of that going on last couple days. And I think that's part of why you get those big swings. And then no liquidity really helps you drive that case a little bit further. So once some of these big hedge funds randomly come in and start buying something random or start selling some of their maybe the winners, you start to get those big spikes toward the end of the day. So I think that's going to play in a little bit today as well, but we'll see how today goes. Otherwise, for most of the day, I probably expect similar to what we saw yesterday, similar to what we saw the day before, where it's you get some wild chops and back and forth, and you're just sitting on your hands until something starts trending, which is a lot of times the hedge funds just kind of rebalancing their portfolios for the most part. Win says it's like 50% chance of rain. You guys are on fire today. Li Li Auto. Uh, good good gap. Good gap. Not trapping too many people, but decent gap. Next little target on this one would be 31.76. I got one before 31.55. We'll move Li Auto up just because it is a gap. Volume I think is usually pretty horrific in this one, if I'm not mistaken. And then today you get that lighter volume, but let's see if we get a small little pullback into that support, $30.82. And if we can, then I'll be with it. It technically was a retest gap, well, only because it's green, but even that one ended pretty poorly, gapping below all that. So there's a little fighting chance in this one. Is there news? Li notifies holders of put right options for convertible senior notes due 20, and they sent out a reminder. They're gapping up on a reminder. Keep in mind, we do have convertible bonds. In case you guys are interested. Amazon kind of looks sneaky here. We're not at all-time highs, but a small little pullback in this one into probably. Let's see where this holds. Let's see if 180.07 holds. Otherwise, this is actually a really sneaky good gap. So again, I want to see a tiny little pullback on this one, but I wouldn't like if you get that high wave on Amazon. Let me throw that one on the screen real quick. AMZN. If we get the high wave, it might be taking a look at the break. It might be okay. We got EL. Estee Lauder. I think they changed their tagline. Yeah, their motto. I don't know if you guys know. Their new tagline is "We're not Ozempic, but we still make you look good anyway." So we'll see. We'll see how that one lands. I don't know. We do have the 200 coming in, so that's gonna be 156.84. A little bit of a retest from yesterday. We are into a little bit of resistance. I think this one most likely fades. I don't know that we fade. I mean, my bigger target will be 146.78 to the downside. But I can see us even fading into like this 150.24. Really got to be concerned with that 200 coming up. Otherwise, decent gap. That is a 3-bar reversal setup. Nice little double bottom. So let's see if this one fades today. We'll get this one higher. I got a whole bunch of everything on my list today. But let's see if this one fades a little bit. To the higher side, there is some decent targets, especially if we get through that 200. And it probably would be a blip on the map. Oh, come on, EL. I had it all the way at the top of the list and didn't want to stay there. Is that a sign? RH. Again, a little bit of 3-bar reversal. I'd look for continuation here. Is this? Oh, this was actually gapping up higher. Okay, should have did that continuation play yesterday. I'd already be gapping up and taking some profits right as soon as the bell rings. Was this earnings? An earnings miss? Yeah, down 50, missed by 56% earnings per share, missed by 39 million in revenue. They're getting played opposite them Walgreens. Walgreens Boots Alliance. Really good gap though. They must have had one heck of a conference call. I don't really know why this one's up unless it had to be something with forecasts. Oh, they also had JP Morgan coming in raising price target to 345 from 329. So then they had a price gouge pretty much based on those earnings. But 345 takes us to here. So not too far away, about $15. Was that what was it? Was it 360? Yeah, 345. I don't know. I'd probably actually look for the fade on this one. You're about $15 to target. Earnings weren't great. Yeah, I probably wouldn't mind a fade on restoration. All right, we got snow for Tim. Has been an absolute struggle bus. An absolute struggle bus. This entire sector has been a little bit weaker. We got very close to the volume zone, so 149. So, from a longer term perspective, and their earnings have been good. The valuation on this thing is just it's rough. It's already up there. But I do like this company. I don't mind them. Be careful of valuation on it. Is it's up there, but we could say the same thing about Nvidia. We could say the same thing about AMD. Depends on how quickly they want to grow into their valuations. Otherwise, really good consolidation, nice gap up. You still got one little tiny resistance here. This is 165.38. Based on how they've been, just they didn't even have a really great day yesterday. I would think that this one wants to probably fade, and I'm looking for like a 161.33 to the higher side of things, 168.61, but that's where it could get fun. We've already hit that one once. If we're going to have a day today, it's either going to be a massive bullish day, and then we get up into really the next target of 178. But you got that moving average we got to get through. We got to get through some of those VPOCs. I think this one probably fades. It seems to be the trend lately. If it gaps up, you start to get some profit taking, some shorts start piling in, and then maybe next quarter. But on a daily basis, this is not a horrible location. It's a pretty decent one. You don't really have any volume holding you back, probably till 167 today, and that takes us right into that range. So But yeah, targets to the higher side could go a little bit more, $2.95, $3, something like that. We'll get this one higher on the list too. I don't mind trading snow. Sometimes it's spreadier, but especially if we get a fade down on this one, 160, 166, not a horrible location to start just leaning into maybe a little bit of a position on it. Restoration order dipped to 270, got bought. Yeah, I essentially it's being saved by JP Morgan for the most part. Those numbers on those earnings look pretty gross, and JP Morgan, I don't know if I don't want to say they have an investment in there that they need to hold it up with. Phantom says, "What's up with gold?" GLD. Gold getting a gap up. It's already had a really good move. I'd probably look for some kind of pullback as a day trade if you're trying it, but really good gap up. Momentum's been in the direction. We've done nothing for years. We've done nothing for quite some time, just been in this chop zone. Finally getting a really good break. It probably has more to go. Finally catching up to inflation. I think it has a lot to do with the yen or the won. I don't know when that changed, but now people call it the won. The Japanese yen has been getting crushed, almost to a point where like it might make sense to buy, for any of the forex traders to buy some of the Japanese yen because it is getting absolutely crushed by US dollar. And usually, um, the Japanese government, they'll do some weird things. So they'll come in and like how Jerome Powell comes in and he kind of forecasts, hey, we're gonna do some rate cuts, we're gonna do XYZ. Japanese government, they'll talk about it, but then they don't do it. And then it goes by. And then like it's almost like they build sentiment first, and then randomly you wake up and then they've done something. The Japanese government intervenes. You're getting to those prices where it might be decent to look at that, but I think gold is really moving because of the strength of the dollar, and then you got inflation built into it as well. So, but nice breakout, good momentum for today. Probably pulls back, I think, a little bit, and then you're at essentially all-time highs. So we'll see what happens on it. See what happens. Drugstore brands break me out. Yeah. Well, Estee Lauder, is that a drugstore brand? I don't think so. No, that's a classy one. All right, we got Tesla. So Tesla, we were able to make some money on yesterday. Great job for everybody who had holding muscles because we needed them. Uh, kind of. I mean, it was just more of a time thing. It didn't really get too scary. One point, kind of, on a 3-minute chart. We got a little bit scary coming down into our entries. Pre-market stayed pretty flat, and yeah, and that was the one move I think right there. It was like, oh man, and then hung out at our price range. But that's the morning bell. So everybody there on YouTube land, make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button. It's been a fun quarter with all you guys. I look forward to doing it one more quarter for next time with you guys as well. Keep in mind, market is closed. Today's Bayonde. My wife told me I said that wrong. She's like, that's not how you say it. And I'm like, nah, it sounds like Harambe when I say it though, so I kind of like it. But my own day Thursday, the bond market does close early today. I think closer to 2 o'clock. We'll see. And then yeah, you guys are awesome. I'll catch you guys later.